Happy Monday, everyone, and happy last day of Dia de Muertos. I hope your Monday was wonderful and kind. If not, you're in the right place, and if so, you're also in the right place. I feel like there's no better way to end a Monday / start a week with some yoga. So, welcome. I'm Seville, if you haven't practiced with me before, and yoga and your choice of beverage is the name of the game. Just, if you've taken these classes before, you know the spiel, you can probably recite it with me. But it's two things that make us feel good in moderation. So we're here not to overdo the yoga and maybe not overdo the alcoholic beverage of your choice. I mean, if you're like going hard with kombucha or water or tea, like get at it. I don't know if you can really overdo those. But it's basically an hour for you to move, to breathe, to reconnect and realign. And so whatever that looks like and whatever you need in your practice today is exactly what you should do. So I'm here to offer suggestions. And if you love those suggestions, I invite you to take them. If you hate those suggestions, I invite you to change it up and try something different. Kick your own butt, chill it out, whatever you need. But before we get started, two things. We will be started in a comfortable seat. And so if you're like me and you like to sit on a blanket when you're seated for a long time, maybe you scoot over to your couch for a moment, grab a blanket and get situated and comfortable. And then the next thing is our intention for our practice tonight. So like I said, tonight is the last night of Dia de Muertos, and that is a celebration of those who've passed on before. There's a lot of deep and beautiful things, and I highly recommend doing a deep dive and understanding and appreciating the celebration. We're just going to skate on the surface tonight. Like I said, it is the celebration of those who have passed on before, and it's believed that you keep their pictures up on your ofrenda all year. Then on these nights, you offer just different offerings, favorite foods, favorite drinks, whatnot. And they come back and they visit, and it's just an invitation for them to come back and to just kind of check up on you. And you keep their love and their memory alive in your heart. And so behind me, I have my ofrenda. But our practice tonight, our intention is going to be dedicating our practice to those who have passed on before us, whether that's somebody that you have known and who are near and dear to your heart. Could be somebody you didn't meet, but they did impact your life. Think RGB, think RBG. Anyways, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, there we go. Or think Chadwick Boseman, some of the greats that we lost this past year. But it's not necessarily a mourning practice. It's a celebration. So we're going to keep their hearts and their spirits alive in our hearts. And we're going to celebrate those people. So if that resonates with you, I invite you to join in with me with that intention of dedicating your practice to Dia de Muertos. And if you had something else in mind, something else you needed, definitely stick with that. But like I said, we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. So if you have your blanket or your bolster or pillow, get cozy. Hands can be rested on the earth if you feel like you need a moment to feel grounded. They can be rested on the legs, either palms down or palms up. And we'll close the eyes. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, you can drop the gaze. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose. Open the mouth, release the breath. One more cleansing breath, just like that. And let's start to fall into a nice rhythm in the breath. Just taking note to see how the breath is moving in the body. Seeing if it's staying really high up in the chest, or and if that's the case, can you start to get the breath to move down toward the ribs and the belly? And with each deep inhale, as the chest and ribs and belly all expand, you should truly feel that expansion forward and backward and side to side. And then with each long exhale, you should feel everything come back to that natural state with maybe a little hug in of the belly. And as we start to settle into the breath and into this space, maybe you start to think about that person or those couple of people that you're dedicating your practice to. Maybe there's a certain character trait or something about them that enriched your life and your soul. And maybe you make that the mantra of your practice. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's kindness. Maybe it's bravery. We'll be staying here for a couple more rounds of breath. Allowing yourself to fall into that comfortable rhythm of inhales and exhales that are deep and meaningful and intentional. And these breaths will be the heartbeat of your practice. Will carry you through each pose, each movement. And we'll start to blink the eyes open. And let's reach the arms out and up. And hands come to the heart. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, out and up. And exhale to the heart. We're going to bring the hands behind the hips, staying up on the fingertips. Let's inhale, send the heart up toward the sky. Exhale, we're going to round the spine and kind of slouch everything in. It's that guilty pleasure couch melting pose. Inhale, the heart pushes up toward the sky, but not only does the heart press up toward the sky, the shoulder blades and the heads of the shoulders are moving backward. Because technically our arms live on the backside of our body, but throughout the day, they sneak forward. So let's actually intentionally sneak them forward. And 2 more times, flowing through this. Follow your breath. And next time that the heart reaches up toward the sky, can you keep that openness across the heart? Pull the belly in, and we'll float the arms up toward the sky. Can you keep that openness? that heart puff up toward the sky as we bring the hands down to the heart. We're going to just quick, easy, lean back and swap. The other leg will be in front now. Things will feel weird. We'll breathe through it together. We'll bring the hands to the knees this time. Inhale, let's send the heart up toward the sky. Just 2 rounds of this seated cat-cow. We'll press the heart up toward the sky, and we'll start to float the hands toward behind the hips. And we'll keep that heart pressing up toward the sky. Shoulder blades are moving toward each other. Then we'll start to float the fingers again. And from deep in the core, we're going to start to twist toward the right knee, keeping that openness in the heart. And then maybe the arms twist a little bit more, or if you'd like, you can keep them kind of floating behind you. We'll come back to the center. Let's bring the fingers onto the earth, recommit to that heart puff, and then fingers float, and we'll twist toward the left knee. And again, you can keep the arms floating behind you, or you can come to that more traditional where you continue the twist with the arms. We'll come back to the center. And let's inhale the arms up toward the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart again. And we're going to come over to table pose. Hands and knees. The wrists will come right underneath the shoulders, and the knees are going to come right underneath the hips. And let's move through cat-cow again. This time, obviously, we're in a different shape. Inhale, drops the belly, sends the heart forward. Exhale, we'll round the spine, tuck the chin. And we'll flow through that a couple times, creating space up and down the spine. If it feels good to hang out in one of the poses longer than the other, feel free to do that. And we'll start to find that happy middle place between cat and cow, where the belly is pulled in like cat, but the heart is reaching forward like cow. Feel free to stay here. Or we're going to take the right foot and press it toward the back of the mat. Checking back in with your strong table back, making sure it's not getting sinky or sassy. Keeping the belly pulled in. Feel free to stay here. Or those right toes can leave the earth. And still keeping the belly pulled in, we're going to start to exaggerate the heart forward as the leg lifts up a little bit more. So it's not a full drop into the low back. That was exaggerated. But keep everything still nice and active. Exhale, we'll round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, send it back, belly pulls in, and send the heart forward, lift the leg. 2 more times, follow your breath. And we'll send the right foot down onto the earth, recommit to those strong arms, that strong core. And we'll send the left hand forward. Let's sweep the left hand down and back, down and forward. One more time, down and back, down and forward. We'll bring the left hand down, and those right toes are going to leave the earth again. And we'll bring that right heel in toward the right hip. And then left hand's going to leave the earth again. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, reach. One more time, exhale, sweep. Inhale, reach. Left hand comes down, right leg reaches back, right knee meets left. And let's roll through cat-cow a few times. Really focusing on keeping the heart open as you roll through cat-cow. And let's start to find that strong table back again. Left toes reach toward the back of the room, belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. Option to stay here, or left toes leave the earth. Keep the core in as the heart sinks forward and as the leg lifts. Exhale, we'll round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, send it out. 2 more times. No rush. Just follow your breath. And we'll bring the left toes down. Belly in, heart reaches forward. Right hand leaves the earth. Exhale, we'll sweep it down and back. Down and forward. 2 more times. Right hand comes down onto the earth. Left toes leave the earth. We'll bring that left heel in toward the left hip. And the right hand reaches forward. Sweep it down and back. And down and forward. 1 more time. Hand comes down. Leg extends out. And left knee meets right knee. Let's walk the hands back toward the heels. We're going to rise up, coming to standing on the knees. That's a lot on the knees. You can always come and sit on the heels. Let's inhale, reach the hands up toward the sky. Belly pulls in, heart reaches up toward the sky. Exhale, we'll cactus the arms. Inhale, we'll reach up, pulling the core back in. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale up. 1 more time. And we'll start to bring the hands down onto the earth. We'll bring the big toes together, knees come apart, and we'll sink back to child's pose. Child's pose is always waiting there for you. It's a great place to come back to your breath, to come back to your intention. But if, you and child's pose aren't best friends today, that's okay. You can always come to a comfortable seat, or you can come back to table. Those are also considered resting poses. And from our child's pose, let's rise up to table. We'll tuck the toes and we'll reach our hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. And let's make it a nice wiggly dog here. So you can wag the tail, you can deeply bend the knees, sending the hips up. But as you're kind of working through all the kinks here in your down dog, can you come back to that space where the heart is? Can it still feel broad and opening, even in a pose where maybe you feel a little constricted in the shoulders and in the heart? The heart is going to reach open back toward the legs as you take deep breaths. Feel free to stay here, or with your next inhale, you'll roll forward to plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, hips come up and back, down dog. 2 more times. Inhale, we'll roll forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, we'll roll. Exhale, we'll go back. And let's bend the knees, look in between the hands, and we'll stroll our way to the top of the mat. Bending the knees, a nice juicy bend. Being very kind to your hamstrings. And we'll tuck the chin. With your next inhale, we'll glide the fingertips up the shins, finding that same strong table back. The heart is gliding forward, and you'll feel the shoulder blades move toward each other on the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. Hands come to the heart. And the heart lifts up toward the hands. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, let's fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Take a moment to check in with the heart. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. Hands come to the heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. We're going to bend the knees so deeply that the hands come down onto the earth. I'm going to step the left foot way back, and we'll come down onto that left knee. That's a lot on the back knee. You can always keep the leg extended. But we'll pull the belly in, shine the heart forward as we rise up. And we'll take a moment here to make sure that the legs feel nice and strong and stable. So imagine that you're actively dragging that front heel back, as well as dragging that back knee forward. So you get this pulling action from both legs and a nice stable foundation. Things are still feeling wobbly. Maybe you heel toe that front foot out toward the side of the mat a little bit. But let's reach the hands forward. And we're going to link the thumbs, just like this. You're making little finger turkeys. So we'll link the thumbs, then start to pull gently the thumbs apart, but you're not going to let them go. And you might do this and go, oh, hello, shoulders. So feel free to stay here, or you can keeping the belly pulled in. You'll start to reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Making sure that it's the shoulders that are moving the arms and not the back. So we tend to get a little like gymnasts when our shoulders are tight. So maybe if you can only stop here, perfect. Maybe you can reach the fingertips all the way up, keeping the core engaged, keeping the heart lifting. Try not to slingshot the hands apart as you release the thumbs, coming into that great cactus shape. Also high five shape. Jamie were here, she would force you to do high fives in the best way. And keeping the heart lifting, we're going to slowly reach the arms out. And similar to when we were seated, we're going to start to rotate around the waist, coming into that twist, keeping the heart open and lifting. And we'll reach that left hand down toward the earth, coming into that revolved twist. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, finding some great space along the wingspan, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, and pressing up and out of that bottom shoulder. We'll bring the right hand down onto the earth. Does not have to be graceful. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. And from down dog again, we'll roll forward to plank, top of a push-up. We'll bring the knees down. With our next inhale, we're going to send the heart forward and lower all the way down, leading with the heart. Once we come down, we'll bring the forehead onto the earth, bring the hands alongside the ribs. We're going to take the shoulders, shrug them up, back, and down, and the head will lift off of the earth. Little to no weight in the hands. Maybe you lift the hands off of the earth. But the heart should be propelling forward as the shoulder blades move toward each other on the back. And we'll lower down. 2 more times. Shrug Up, back, and down. Coming to our cobra shape. Maybe you start to put a little more weight into the hands. Maybe you try that and go, nope. But we'll come back down. And one last time. Shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. Nice strong legs to help propel the heart forward. And we'll lower back down. And however it makes sense in the body, we'll press our way back to downward facing dog. So maybe you move through table, maybe it's back through plank. And from our down dog, left foot's going to leave the earth. Does not have to be graceful. We're going to step that left foot forward. So maybe you need to help it along its way, and that's perfect. And bring that right knee down onto the earth. Again, always have the option to float the knee if you need it. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. Let's rise up, finding our low lunge with strong, active legs to help stabilize. And we'll reach the hands forward. And we'll link the thumbs again. Try to put the opposite thumb on top. If you can't remember which one it is, it's typically the one that's going to feel the weirdest. And then find that gentle pull of the thumbs away from each other. Say hello to your shoulders. And we'll keep the belly pulled in, nice and active, as we start to float the fingers up toward the sky. Again, you may stop at a certain point, and that is totally perfect. It all depends on what's happening in the shoulders today. Wherever you're at, let's not slingshot the hands apart. We cactus out the arms. Finding that lift in the heart. Keeping the core engaged. We'll reach the hands out. And then we'll start to find that twist. Right hand will reach forward. Right fingertips come onto the earth. Left hand reaches up toward the sky. And let's come up onto the back toes, lifting the back knee. Finding that space in the wingspan, in the shoulders, in the heart. And we'll bring the left hand down onto the earth. Let's look forward and step forward. Finding our forward fold. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Pausing here to find the strength in the back and the core, that openness in the heart and the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. We're going to root through the left foot. I'll come here so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to root through the left foot and just bring the right foot half an inch or so off of the earth. Then we're going to start to just swing it back and forth. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, left foot's rooted, right foot swinging. Just finding that stabilization in the standing leg and the stillness in the rest of the body as that leg moves. Then we'll take that right heel and move it toward the right hip. So you have a little flamingo moment. Keeping the heart lifted. We'll extend our flamingo leg back. There we go. And we'll find our warrior one. Making sure you have the strong rooted foundation here, actively pressing out through that back heel, rooting down toward that front foot. Again, if things feel wobbly, you want to find that same pulling action of both legs back toward each other. We'll reach the arms forward. We'll link the thumbs. We'll keep the belly pulled in as we start to reach the hands up toward the sky. I know for me in Warrior One, it's harder for me to keep the core engaged as I reach the hands up. My core likes to get a little sassy in Warrior One, or should I say lazy, sleepy? So for me, this is extra work. And maybe you bend a little deeper into that front knee. Keep the heart lifted. And we'll reach the hands back forward. We'll bring the hands to the heart. We're going to come up onto those back toes, and we'll sneak that back leg forward, finding just a quick moment of chair pose. And from chair pose, we'll reach the hands back, feel the heads of the shoulders move back as well as the shoulder blades moving toward each other. We'll link thumbs behind the back, and maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you start to straighten the legs and fold over the legs. And if your shoulders are not having this, you can always hold on to opposite arms like this, or you can just keep the arms flying back. There's no need to connect or force your shoulders to do something that maybe won't feel so great tomorrow. And from this forward fold, let's bend the knees and we'll gently release the arms down. We'll inhale, finding our strong halfway lift. We'll exhale to fold. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to down dog. Option to move through that vinyasa, which is plank, lowering down, opening the heart, and then back to down dog. Or if you came to chill, why don't you drink something or go to child's pose, anything you want to do. That's the beauty of a home practice, but also the beauty of yoga and beer. And we'll meet back in down dog. And from down dog, if it makes sense in the body, right foot is going to leave the earth. And we'll step that right foot forward. Again, you may have to assist that right foot forward, hanging out here for just a second. And then left foot's going to meet right, finding our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. We're going to root through the right foot this time. And left foot is going to start to hover. Finding that isolation of the leg. So you're actively rooting through that right foot. The rest of the body is staying nice and still. Then we'll take that left heel and bring it toward the left hip, finding our flamingo moment. I mean, if you want to start like flapping your wings a little bit, go for it. Staying here for another breath. Then let's send that left foot back, finding our warrior one with the right foot forward this time. So again, taking those moments to find that activation in the legs, that steady, solid core, then pull the belly in and shine the heart up toward the sky. Arms reach forward. Opposite thumb clasps on top. If you can't remember, most likely was your awkward thumb. Belly pulls in as we slowly start to raise the fingers up toward the sky. And I like to do this slowly because you can if you move slow enough, you can find that moment where things start to get sassy, where your back looks more like a banana. Staying here for another breath. And we'll start to lower the fingers forward. And we'll bring the hands to the heart. We'll come up onto those back toes. And we're going to sneak that back foot forward, finding our chair pose. This is, I believe, the final chair of our practice. So we did it. So from our chair pose, again, we'll reach the arms back, feeling the shoulder blades move toward each other. Maybe you hold on to opposite arms. Maybe you clasp the thumbs. And then we'll fold forward, straightening the legs any amount as you come into this forward fold with the arms extended up toward the sky, if that makes sense in your body. And we'll put a bend in the knees as we bring the arms down onto the earth. We'll hold on to opposite elbows here in our forward fold. And we'll sway a little side to side. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. Let's reach the arms forward. And we'll sweep the right arm down and back, down and forward. Left arm down and back, down and forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Heart reaches up, belly pulls in. Pull the belly in as you stack the shoulders over the hips. Exhale, let's fold. We're going to step the right foot way back, staying up on those back toes. We'll pull the belly in, shine the heart forward, rise up, finding our crescent pose for a breath. And then we'll open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. Finding those strong, stable legs again. And we're going to bring the arms behind the back. You can either clasp the thumbs or you can hold on to opposite arms. For once, I'm intentionally facing away from you. But keeping this hold to help keep the heart open as we flow through this. So we'll reverse warrior and come up and over into side angle. And press back to reverse. And over to side angle, keeping the heart open. Press back. And we'll straighten that leg with all sorts of intention. Release the arms. And that front hand is going to reach up toward the sky, coming into a reverse triangle. And we'll bend into that front knee. Cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. And we'll step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's roll forward to plank. And we're going to lower all the way down onto the belly. Forehead is going to rest on the mat. Nice strong legs. The top of the feet are pressing down into the earth. We're going to come up onto the fingertips, finding cute little cupcake hands. And let's bring those cupcake hands still alongside the ribs, but right on the edges of the mat. And with your next breath, we'll shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. We'll put some weight into the fingers, but we'll send the heart gliding forward, powered by the legs and less by putting weight in the hands. And we'll lower down. If that felt great, feel free to stay there. Maybe you walk the hands out a little bit more. Inhale, shrugging the shoulders up, back, and down. and lower back down. Again, feel free to stay there, or maybe one more time. You walk the hands out just a tiny bit more. Really charge up those legs, pull the belly in, shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. So you rise up, propelling the heart forward, and then lowering down. Sneak the hands back alongside the ribs, and we'll press back through table, back to down dog. And we'll look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift, finding the open heart here. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And we'll reach the hands forward. Right hand sweeps down and back. Down and forward. Left hand down and back. Down and forward. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Pull the belly in, stack the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to keep the left foot where it's at. Send the right foot way back. Staying up on the toes. Rising up. Finding your crescent for a breath. Then we'll open up warrior two. Facing the right edge of the mat. This time I'm going to face you guys. And from our warrior two, we'll bring the hands behind the back, whether you're holding on to opposite elbows or arms or clasping the thumbs. And we'll come through reverse warrior and press back and over to side angle and press back. One more time, reverse. And back to side angle, keeping the heart lifting up. And we'll release the arms. And we'll straighten that front leg with all sorts of intention. And let's reverse warrior. Bending into that front knee. Let's cartwheel the hands around that front foot and we'll look forward and step forward. Finding our forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. So we're going to root through that left foot. And we'll just sneak that right heel toward the right hip, finding your flamingo pose. And we'll reach the arms forward. And we'll sweep the right arm down and back. Feel free to stay here, or maybe you reach down with that right hand. And you make connection, holding on to either the inner or outer edge of that foot. You start to find your dancer pose. So boom, you're in dancer pose right here. But if you want to move a little deeper into the pose, you're going to keep the belly pulled in as the heart reaches up toward the sky. You're actively press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Ooh. My left ankle is a little tender, so I don't know how great my balance is. I'm gonna use a wall, no shame. So actively press the foot into the hand into the foot as you start to move through your dancer pose. And it's called dancer pose for a reason, because you typically end up dancing in it, coming in and out, wibbling and wobbling. Maybe that's your dancer pose right here. Stay here for another breath. Try not to slingshot the foot out of the hand as you bring both feet back onto the earth. We'll bring the hands alongside the body, palms facing out, heart reaching up. And we'll close the eyes or drop the gaze. We'll reconnect with our breath. We'll reconnect with our intention. Allowing whatever just happened to be in the past. We'll move forward. And just keeping in perspective that it's a Monday night and you're watching somebody teach yoga from their living room and you're standing on one foot while you do it. Should be the least serious thing you do all day, hopefully. We just put things in perspective and we laugh and we have fun and we dance. So let's come back. Coming into dancer pose on the other side. Good thing we only have 2 legs. We're not a spider who would have to do a lot of dancer poses to stay even. So we'll root through that right foot and left heel will come find that left hip, finding your flamingo pose. Arms reach forward. We'll sweep the left hand down and back. And maybe you stay right here. Or maybe you reach down and you find the hand on the foot, either inside or outside of the foot. Feel free to stay here. Maybe you start to dance around. Maybe you start to actively press the hand into the foot into the hand. As you find your dancer pose, keeping the heart lifting. So whatever is happening with your legs is whatever. Right now I want you to focus on lifting the heart, keeping the core engaged, finding that broadness across the collarbones. Try not to slingshot the foot. Ooh, ooh, dancing, dancing, dancing. Meant to do that. And we'll shake it out. And let's inhale, reach up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Because what is life if you can't giggle at yourself every now and then? Or when you mess something up, you just dance it out, right? Inhale, we'll reach again. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bending the knees, planting the hands. We're actually just going to step right back into a table pose. If one more vinyasa is what you're needing, go for it. We'll meet you in table, no rush. But with our next inhale, let's drop the belly, send the heart forward, coming into cow pose. Exhale, we're rounding the spine, tucking the chin. And we'll follow the breath here a couple times. I don't know about you guys, but this cat-cow is very dreamy for me. Feeling all sorts of things in my upper back and in the heart. Because we spend so much of our time hunched forward. So to open the heart, to really breathe into the heart is always such a welcome phenomena in my body. All right, and if you are just loving this cat-cow and it's super dreamy for you as well, feel free to hang out there. But we're going to actually come on over to the back. We'll keep the knees bent as we start to lower down. Nothing fancy. If you need core, you can lower down, do your crunches, things like that. But we'll bring the arms alongside the body, similar to when we were just standing where we had the palms facing out. That's how we're going to lay. So you may have to let your hands journey off of your mat a little bit so that way it doesn't feel bunchy in the shoulders, but it feels broad and open. And see if you can get your thumbs and your pinky fingers to touch the earth. We'll just take a couple breaths here, allowing the spine to be supported by the back. Not the back, the mat. But you know, the spine is supported by the muscles in the back. It's all fascinating, it's great. And we'll bring the feet in a little closer than you might normally. And if this feels amazing and dreamy for you, I invite you to stay here. Or you can start to actively press in toward the feet. And as you do that, you're going to puff the heart up toward the sky. Maybe you shrug the shoulder blades in toward each other a little bit. And then maybe you start to lift the hips off of the earth, coming into a bridge pose. But again, whatever's happening, like from the ribs down, is whatever right here. I really want you to focus on keeping that heart lifted and puffing up toward the sky. And we'll slowly lower down inch by inch by inch. And we'll recommit to the shoulders melting down toward the earth, to that heart puff. And just one more time, moving through bridge pose. So keeping the heart puff and lift up toward the sky. Maybe the hips also leave the earth. And just one more breath. And we'll start to lower down inch by inch. And we'll bring the feet out about mats with distance. And we'll just gently knock the knees side to side. Nothing